Hi everybody, it's Karen. I've been asked to do a video showing how you would take a shape like this and add letters in the middle or whatever you want and weld them to the shape so that they're welded into the outer frame. So I've prepared this file and I'm going to be putting this into my silhouette group and it'll be available for free for anyone to use. I'm going to show you. All you need to do is insert a letter, an initial. You can put a monogram on the inside, whatever you like. I'm going to start with this font. Actually, I'm going to change it to Courier font. And I'm going to type in the letter R. And that didn't change to the Courier font, so I'm going to choose the Courier font. Just a little bit more interesting looking. And I'm going to drag this out larger so that it will go from the top all the way down to the bottom, touching all those sides and making sure that you're not going too far over so that round pieces are sticking out here. You just want it this much. I'm not crazy about that font. I'm going to choose something else. Okay, I'm going to choose the Charter font. I'm just going to make that a little bit smaller so that I don't have pieces sticking out of the sides that way. A little bit smaller still. And I can stretch it down a little bit. Okay, and then once I've done that, all I need to do is draw a box around everything, click my modify window, and then click weld. And that will weld those pieces together. Then if you wanted to create an offset to have another piece around the outside, just click the shape, click the offset window, and we want to do an external offset. So you can have it where it's offsetting everything. You could have also done it before you added your R. I'll show you what that will look like after. I'm going to just spread this out a little bit further, not too far, and that looks pretty nice. I'm going to apply that. Actually, I don't want it too far, but I want this to be corners. And apply that. And that looks pretty nice. So that is an extra shape that I've got that I can use as a shadow. The other thing I could have done is I could have applied an offset before I welded my R together. So I'm just clicking undo several times until I get back to where my R was not welded, and that's here. So I just need to click away to separate them. So I can do an offset of this. I'll click my offset window's already clicked. I'll choose my shape, click the offset button, and now you see you've got the offset of just the shape. And I want that to be a corner. Whoops. Click the offset again. I have to click my shape, click the offset, and I want it to be just a little bit more than what I have here. That looks good. And then another thing that I can do is if I don't want this piece in the middle, I'll just release the compound path and then I'll delete this piece in the middle. And then I can just put this back on top and I can just layer them afterwards. So if I change the color of this white piece, you'll understand more about how that is. You see that piece is one piece and then the black piece is going on top. Okay. And if you want to learn what a compound path is, it's very simple. I'm going to show you with the letter. Move this out of the way and I'll bring my letter in over here. I'm going to assign a color to it so that it'll be easier for you to see. Right now, this letter, okay, it's text. I'm going to change this to, I'll convert it to a path. so that now it's no longer considered text, it's considered a graphic element. This part of the letter is a compound path. What a compound path does is it cuts a hole in the shape so that you see through it. If I release the compound path, this part will turn red. Okay, same thing with this. The way I made the shape weld to this frame is by making this a compound path. If I release the compound path, it's going to be black in the middle. So I'm going to, you see it's two pieces actually. It's not one piece. You put them back together. Well, actually I could have just clicked undo, and then that would bring it right back to where it was. And you create a compound path again. It cuts a hole in the middle of the two. So let's say that you wanted to attach text to a circle. What you would do is you would draw a circle. Then you can either draw another circle, put it in the middle, or use the offset function since we have it. And I'm just going to make that a little bit wider. And I'll apply that. So this is, whoops, sorry about that. It's not a compound path yet. So let's say that if you take your letter and you bring it over here and you make sure that it's stretched out far enough to be overlapping everywhere, you choose everything and you weld it, it's not going to work. Okay, everything turns red. So let's undo that. If on the other hand, whoops, I need to deselect. If I move my R over here and I take these two pieces and I make a compound path, you don't see it now because there's no color, but there's a hole in the middle here. I'll show you with color. Okay, so if I release the compound path, it's all one color. The line is here, but there's no hole in the middle. So you need to have a compound path for that text to weld to your shape. So now when I bring this in, and I drag it so that it's overlapping, when I weld them, they're going to turn the same color, but it will weld to each other. So let's go to my modify window here. I'll click weld, and now it works. So that's the trick of getting things to weld to frames like this. Hope that's been helpful to you. So don't forget that this crest is going to be in the file section of my silhouette group. Thanks so much for watching. Please subscribe to my channel.